Welcome to the We Can Do It Women movement, where women 60 and wiser step into the spotlight and make the rest of their lives the best of their lives. I'm your host, Debra Morrison, a wealth building expert and champion for extraordinary women just like you. Yes, for over 47 years, I've helped women secure their financial futures, and now I'm on a mission to ignite a revolution. Yep, showing the world that at 60, 70, and beyond, some of us might be a nickel slower, yet we're all just getting started. And our esteemed guest today comes to us from Chicago, Illinois, Joy Loverde, whose career in the aging industry spans over 3 decades. She's a consultant, keynote speaker, mature market advisor, author, specializes in marketing events, education, and advocacy for senior living and adult communities. She's the best-selling author of at least 2 books, The Complete Elder Care Planner, the 4th edition, and Who Will Take Care of Me When I'm Old. Joy, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Deborah, so much. And grandmother of 10.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, they keep me as busy as everything else.
I can't even imagine that they let you, even be on this show, but we're glad that they did.
Yeah, lucky.
So I want to just give our audience a little bit more background, and then have you fill in as you will. And I'm grateful for that. As a child, I read that your confidence in writing was actually encouraged by a grade school teacher who praised
Yes.
your creative assignments, helping you develop a passion for reading and writing from an early age. Boy, aren't those formidable words from our teachers?
Yeah, we should be paying attention early on, because really what we end up doing in life, we pretty much know at the age of 12,
Yeah.
right? I've heard that statistic a lot, and that is wholly true for me. So when somebody said, "Hey, you really know how to communicate well," I thought, "Okay," and then I went on and continued to do that all my career.
Amazing. Well, we're grateful for those school teachers that did recognize your talent and praised you for it. And look how it blossomed. At age 14, while attending Trinity, an all-girls Catholic school in River Forest, Illinois, you volunteered to visit a nursing home on Thanksgiving morning. A
I
form
remember like it was yesterday,
Talk
Deborah.
to us about this.
It was a dark Chicago, rainy, cold Thanksgiving morning. I raised my hand. I told Sister Dorothy I would go with her to the nursing home. We walk into the nursing home, and there's 7 people sitting in the dark. Now, I'm going home to an enormous Italian family, food, music, dogs, you name it, lots and lots of people. So when I walked into the nursing home and I see 7 people alone on Thanksgiving morning, my 14-year-old brain cannot comprehend that. And I immediately knew something was amiss. So I said to myself, who are these people? Why are they not talking to each other? Why are they not happy? And where the heck are their families at this time? And I
Uh,
went home, and I couldn't get that visual out of my head, and the rest is history. I wrote a book on planning so that people could start talking to each other. That's it.
well, it is certainly so widely received, and I'm going to talk about the myriad awards that you've received. I want to jump right now to a topic and a phrase that you have used, and I read it, called time traveling. Oh my God. You developed the concept of time traveling, help people mentally prepare for aging by observing and learning from those that are 20 and 30 years older. Talk to us about how you got into the feeling, if you will, the action of
Yeah,
time traveling.
sure. As far as I'm concerned, people who are 30 years and older than us
Yeah.
are living answers. Now, when we start taking a break and taking a deep breath and being willing to look at people who are way older than us, we begin to see what the future holds for us. Now, the cool thing is everybody ages differently. So you're going to see some really happy people out there, and you're going to see some pretty miserable people out there. And the process of time travel is to begin to initiate conversations with people you don't even know, and say,
Yes.
hey, I would just love to learn from you. What would you do differently if you were me? Or do you have any advice for me? Go into the future by talking to people who are older than you right now.
And these people probably haven't been asked to be conversant. They're not really, in conversations a lot because of the
Mm.
environment. And this has to be music to their ears to have some younger person, no matter how many decades, but a younger person actually interested in them. Because as we age, Joy, you know that there's a lot of loss of meaning, right? What's my use
Right.
value, right? And boy, this
Yeah.
gives them a terrific use value.
Oh, it does. It does. It isn't that we may take their words verbatim and literally, but what the concept that I developed has to do with seeing the diverse ways that and the diverse choices that we can make when we are in the presence of someone who has lived 30 years or more older than us, you know? So
Right.
let's not be afraid to look at the future because we're in the process of designing it right now. So
Yes. And
let's
if
go.
if we're lucky, we'll be there. And if we're not, then
Yeah.
I think that we could have, we would have preferred a different choice, perhaps. You use this concept in order to have people plan for caregiving as well as aging solo. Talk to us about that because, boy, that's more and more prevalent these days.
Right. So a lot of the people that I did talk to actually were living alone. And I prefer to use the words living alone rather than aging solo. The
Okay.
reason is because if we're sitting in our house and we are alone, it's different than if we're aging solo, but there's people who are available to us. So
Okay.
living alone means we've got to plan differently for a whole different set of circumstances, a whole new set of networks and that revolving door of relationships. We have to think, even if we are living with someone right now and we are coupled up or have a roommate or an adult child, we still have to plan for the day that we may be living alone. And then that opens up a more solid plan for us to think about. So living alone means thinking ahead to a time where people around us currently begin to leave us for one reason or another.
Yeah. That's so powerful. And as a financial advisor of 4+ decades, I would often be talking with people as they age. All right, you're going to stay in this home, you're going to change to a different home. And we think
Mhm.
about, okay, how do we refurbish the home so that it's able to accommodate wheelchairs and other kinds of things. And this it ends up being, factored into our financial discussions, right? And yet you're dealing with the non-financial aspects in a way that's so valuable because a lot of people just talk about the money and you're talking about the emotional aspects and the social aspects. So yeah, your partner now. Well, that may not continue. And so us to be prepared psychologically, Joy, how do you get people to, broach that? Because it's probably a little bit daunting to think, oh my God, what if he's dead or what if she's dead?
Well, yeah, that is such a reality. I I just say that I like to stay in the real world, and so money is good. But I know plenty of people who don't have any money, but they have the friends who would be there for them in a heartbeat. So yes, planning financially is really, really smart. But then the second thing I think about is where are these friendships? Am I a good friend? Am I a good enough friend to be with others at a time of their need? And then I go from there because the reality is of it, we're going to make a phone call when we need help, or someone's going to make a phone call in our behalf. Who are they going to call? Right? Develop that from a social point of view, which has a lot to do with where we live.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And,
Yeah.
I come from a rural background of like raised in a farm and, out there, I mean, literally everybody knows everybody. And so,
Yeah.
but that's a little bit yesteryear now. I mean, it's far less communal and so forth, such that, everybody knows each other and you've got a bunch of 3 a.m. friends. Now we don't maybe have so many for 3 a.m. friends. So I think what you're doing is amazing, allowing us to be in the conversation. You're demystifying aging by conversing about it, right? It's no longer this, "Oh, I don't know, and I don't think I want to know." I mean, it's this frightening thing to so many of us, this aging process, and yet as I say, if we're lucky, we do it. We all do it.
I love what you just said. You said, I'm bringing it out. I'm letting the cat out of the bag, letting it out. We are the adults in the room. If we're comfortable talking about how to process planning, how to go about doing it, talking about death and dying, talking about maybe running out of money. If we're the ones that are the adult in the room that go first, then everybody benefits.
Yes.
So, one question we need to ask ourselves in the planning process is, before I do anything else, am I willing to talk about it with the people around me? That's the first thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes we want to maybe just take a mirror and talk into our own bathroom mirror about it, right? Because our comfort level will be very much smoothed if we have actually, given it a lot of conscious thought and maybe spoken it out loud. So
Yeah.
couldn't agree more
Yeah.
with you. So let's just continue on the progress here. During this, so at age 14, holy camole. So what, all right, so I have to go back there. So you go home to this huge
Yeah.
spread at Thanksgiving, and you must have just almost been without words. I mean, how did you approach your family?
Yeah, the first thing I did is I went in the kitchen, of course, where my mom and my grandmother was, and all the relatives, and my mom was mad at me anyway because I was late,
Of course you were.
and I was, of course I was, and I said, "Mom, you can't believe what I just saw," and she said, "I can't talk to you now. I'm busy, with the cooking and everything, but we'll talk about it later." And she saw that I was upset. So during the dinner or during after dinner, I did say, "Mom, we really got to talk. There's people that are home over all by themselves in this place, and they have no one." And she said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And I said, "Give me some time and I'll think about it." And so every Thanksgiving, I took it upon myself without Sister Dorothy telling me or anybody, and I would go to a nursing home, and it became a tradition. And and as I got older, I would keep going, and I got married, and I would bring my daughter, and I had my dogs, and I kept this tradition on of going to nursing homes every Thanksgiving. However, it was not a pleasant experience, and it frustrated me the more I visited. And it wasn't until I turned about the age of 40 that I realized that I had this solution, or what I thought was a solution to helping this problem of people being alone, especially on a holiday. And this is when I wrote the first edition of the Complete Elder Care Planner. The sole purpose of that book was to get people to talk. That's it. And I only wanted them to, just like you said, bring the subject into the room, bring it into the room, and then you bust the bubble of fear. You
Absolutely.
just bust it right open. And
Absolutely.
at the age of 40, I stopped the career that I was doing, and I became my own client. And I went around the country. Uh, I was hired by corporate America in the HR department, and at the time there was no elder uh, services in a corporate setting. There was only child care. But I
Exactly.
said, "No, you need elder care." And they said, "What's that?" I said, so I was one of the few people who started elder care. And then I went all over the country for the past 40 years, 30 years, talking about elder care to people who are employed. But then 10 years ago, something very interesting happened. And that is when the caregivers would come to me and say, "I'm doing everything I can for my parents and grandparents and so on, but who's going to take care of me when I'm old?" And then that began the conversation of, now let's take care of two things at once: taking care of someone else and take care of other people at the same time simultaneously.
Yeah, yeah, a sandwich of sorts. Um, this is so impressive. So that's you. So you fast forward to about the 1990s. I want to just skip back a nickel. You went to college for a couple of years, and
I
then you
did.
said, "All right, I'm out of here. I'm starting my own advertising agency." I mean, that took a lot of chutzpah right now. I'm just saying. uh,
Yeah.
developed your own advertising agency. Talk to us about that and marketing and self-publishing
Well,
these
I
books.
was a single mom. I had to work, and having a young child. So that was where I really learned the basis of communication. So working with professionals who taught me how to manage very complex subjects in the written word. And so everything started to come together through that. And then what happened was is I realized that the book was taking off. People were asking me to speak, and that's when I became my own client and I went on the road and haven't looked back. And all the marketing that I know has been because of what I learned and then I applied to me.
So good. So good. Yeah, this whole concept, when you think about it, that you go in as a woman, and so much of corporate America and the decision makers are white men, old ones, and you're talking about elder care, and probably their wives are doing some
That's right.
caregiving, right? It's not so, palpable for them to understand it viscerally. And so you're trying to say, no, 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 elder care. And they're like, child care. So obviously both of them very important. This was an amazing insertion, if you will, into corporate America, and I applaud you because clearly
Mhm.
now we have at least more opportunities for people to get leave and so forth to be caregivers. And we're in the sandwich generation, are we not? I mean, there's still a whole lot of us that are caring for people. My parents both have passed now in the past 2 years, which was sad, and yet there are a whole lot of people that are very tugged and torn between generations. And then where does self-care, you know, find its breath, Joy? Where,
You
because
know,
you could be burned out by doing this.
okay, so it's clear to me that people learn or need to learn how to create boundaries in the process. They also need to learn how to ask for help.
Thank you.
There's plenty of help. That there we just need to make the effort to look for the resources in our own cities. And you said you came from a rural environment. Well, the local churches are a darn good resource for people who are volunteering all over the place. And it's just a matter of saying, look, you can't do it all. And no means no. And learning how to be a better communicator. It, it isn't um, a given that you're going to burn out in caregiving. It has a lot to do with boundaries.
I couldn't agree more. I am so impressed with both of your books. The Complete Elder Care Planner, I recommend it highly. And as a certified financial planner, and with my master's in retirement planning, I dealt with this a lot. And yet I've already found some interesting tidbits that I'm going to use. So here are a couple of the chapters, you guys. Effective planning, a place to start. Caught off guard, suddenly you're a caregiver. Elder care goals chart. Love this. How to tell when help is needed, share the care, etc. Take a deep breath, jump in, quick and easy access, managing medications. Isn't that a trick? If your elder
Yeah.
is hospitalized, low cost and no cost resources, money matters, of course, insurance, housing, safe and secure, legal matters. Yeah. And I want to stress, and you deal with this as well. When people name a power of attorney, Joy, often it's like one person, right? And who isn't generally? It's generally the daughter that lives close to the parents because she lives close to the parents and she's the girl, right? So I am so intent on us ferreting out the specialties within the kids if there are more than one children, if there are children, because this daughter, this proverbial daughter, is tending to the meds and getting the doctor's appointments and so forth and so on, and making sure that there's food in the refrigerator. And then it's incumbent upon us as planners and people that are aging to name someone else in the family to deal with the money, because now you're overloading your key person. And we can't do that because they're generally not going to set the boundaries in a way that really protects them. Or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. I can't help but think of all the people that I know that absolutely do not have children. And they're scratching their heads saying, who the heck am I going to name anyway? And who am I going to trust?
Exactly. Exactly.
So so
Yeah.
that's why the resources that are in both of my books will lead you to people who will guide you in the question of, I don't have a family. I don't have anybody who's going to do this that I trust. I need to go forward. And so we need to name professionals and hook up with professionals who could tell us, well, if I don't have somebody and, something happens to me, I need to be protected. And this is the importance of planning, not so much delegating it to somebody, because we got to figure everybody around us is gonna go by the wayside one way or another. And
Right.
we have to plan that way. It's just a smarter way to plan.
Right, right. And you know what I'm thinking is, because I'm unmarried, and I have chosen to kind of split from my family because it feels healthier right now. And so I went to the doctor recently and they gave me a form and it said, "Who's your, in case of
Mhm.
emergency person, who's your power of attorney?" And I was like,
Mm.
I don't have a person.
Mhm.
I mean, it was horrible.
Mhm.
I mean, it was certified financial planner. And it's kind of like the tailor's kid have no clothes. But the point is that these deaths have happened and these cessation of relationships have happened. The severing of relationships have happened. So heretofore, you might choose a family member, but there's a political climate now that has really splintered families such
That's
that
right.
I want us to be cognizant of the importance of really thinking through, and I have been, and so now I have a person. And yet I want to say that it was completely shocking to me that I'm in that
Mm.
situation, right? So hopefully you got a person that knows finance, and then you have a person that can really be boots on the ground. Now,
It's
go ahead.
Didn't you find that it was just a matter of the willingness to do your homework?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was as simple as that.
Bring it conscious.
You said, "I need to figure this out," and you did.
Yeah,
And it wasn't a straight line, and it took time, but it was worth your peace of mind, right?
right, totally.
Why don't people do this?
Uh, I think people are afraid typically of the unknown. They kind of don't know the next step, and they
Don't
also maybe think that
what
they're not going to happen to them. I don't know.
Right, right. It is just behooves me to think that people are willing to let others dictate what's going to happen to them, instead of, when we're our own peace of mind, to do the work ourselves and get it done. And
Yeah.
it's not that difficult. It just takes time.
Yeah. And, you're not setting this in a cement that they just poured the cement and that's going to be your decision into
No,
perpetuity. Hello, you can change it. I'll tell you,
yeah,
I was power of attorney for, I think, 7 people over my career, and then
wow.
executor for 5 people. And so I had this all set up. You can imagine I had it buttoned up. Okay, this is a DNR. And then I get a call from the senior community in which she lived. Um, uh, Betty, it's not her name. Betty is flatlined. What to do? Now I'm 2 hours away, but I'm still the person to be there. And I say, well, did you ask Betty what she wants to do? Yeah, she wants to go to the hospital. Now remind yourself, I know we have a DNR. We've talked
Hmm.
about it and talked about it. And yet when
Hmm.
she's in the moment, she wants to go to the hospital. And I say, okay, tell me which one, because we've been shuttling back and forth. And I say, I'll be there in 2 hours. And hell for leather, I'm driving down the turnpike. And the surgeon's waiting for me in the hospital because
Hmm.
I got to lift the DNR for him to do the operation. He's not doing an operation with the DNR. So I lift the DNR, he does the operation, and I'm like nose pressed against the glass because this woman is like 92 pounds soaking wet. I mean,
Hmm.
put clappers on her and she's going to be in a feeding tube. So you see, there's a little bit involved in this. I almost don't want to
Right,
say an example like that because the person's like, well, I'm not doing that, because there is a lot of
right.
responsibility, Joy. And yet it does
Tons.
give us peace of mind if we address it, because the fear of the unknown and not handling it is just so much more damning than take responsibility. Let's make a decision
Yeah. That's what keeps people up at night. It's the inaction. That's all.
right now.
Just do, and I always say, tomorrow, just do one thing that you can think of that'll bring you peace of mind. Just one, not 10, one.
Love that. So, 1999, you published the first edition of the Complete Elder Care Planner, which became a seminal work in the field and was praised by the American Medical Association as the best book we've seen, quote unquote, for elder care planning. And Women's Day comes in and says this book is the most complete resource between two covers. Hello, that had to be a proud moment.
It was, it was, you people who wrote books and then get that kind of, we know how many sleepless years we took writing books. So, but I always appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, that's music to our ears. Then 2017, you released Who Will Take Care of Me When I'm Old? That is subsequently hailed as required reading for everyone over 40. Guys, 40
Hmm.
or zero. Many of us are long past that. Addressing solo aging, or you call it aging. Sorry, give me the term.
Just people who live alone.
Live
That's it.
alone. Uh,
Live alone. You're
That's
living alone. You who will take care of me living alone.
okay.
You know that one of the reasons why I say living alone is because people do have adult children or they have nieces and nephews and so on. But there's a phenomenon that's happening in society right now that's quite disturbing. And it
Okay.
has everything to do with planning as though those people don't exist. And it has to do with family estrangement. Now, people make decisions to leave us. We make decisions to leave them. It's not unusual anymore. In fact, I don't know of too many families who are not currently experiencing family estrangement.
Right.
Daughters, sons, parents, you name it, siblings, everybody's like, no, we're not talking anymore for a variety of reasons, right?
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
family estrangement can happen at any time. And
What a good point.
so it's just that we're in the throes of a whole new society, a whole new world of how we're gonna go about this aging process.
Now, Joy, that's a darn good point. And I so appreciate your bringing it up. I live alone, and this estrangement issue is interesting. So I've always beat the drum, like, okay, when people become divorced and then they come to me, and the beneficiary in their 401k at work because they're not seeing it every day, right? Or in the annuity they bought or were sold, is their ex-husband, right?
Hmm.
Or ex-wife, and they never changed it. And I have
Right.
come into situations after the fact where the widow's sitting there with the baby that fits between here and here, and the beneficiary on her husband's life
Hmm.
insurance, if it's not just a life insurance policy, if it's a 401k, sometimes several $100,000, is to the first wife. And so I'm really beating the drum like, everybody, look at your beneficiary designations. And if you don't have
Yeah.
them, ask the company. Here's the tip: ask the company, write to the company, phone the company, say, email me a beneficiary change form. You sit there and you fill it out and you mail it certified return receipt requested to the insurance company so that they don't come in after the fact and say, well, we never got that, right? And you keep a copy
Yeah.
of it in your desk drawer so that someone finds it once you're dead. The fact is, the beneficiary for estranged family members needs to be assessed, because let's talk about a living alone person. And maybe I had some family members of a beneficiary, and maybe I'm going to need some expensive health care. I want whomever is my 3 a.m. friend or someone that's serving in my capacity now to receive my funds to care for me. So this brings up a whole new level of responsibility for us to check beneficiary designations.
Yeah, so it used to be I would tell everybody, "Oh, okay, if you have legal documents, if you have a will, if you have a trust, if you have power of attorney, if you have any legal document," I used to say, "Look at it once a year." Now I say, "Look at it every 6 months."
I think that's right.
And probably like in 6 months from now, I'm going to say, "Look at it every 3 months." Why? Because of the turmoil of mental health for one thing, people people moving away, people
Yes.
dying. I'm so surprised if you look at the contacts in your phone and you go through and say, I think I'm going to clean up my act here and I'm going to go through all my contacts. You look at who's in your phone contacts. Some people you don't even know who they are. It's so look closely at your documents at least every 6 months. I'm into looking at my phone contacts and my documents every 3 months now, but maybe I'm just over the top, but I don't think so. I
I
like
don't
to sleep at night.
I like to sleep well, yes, at night. So we fast forward up to 2020. You continue to serve the world as a sought after keynote speaker, consultant, and media spokesperson. You became directly involved in senior living advocacy,
Yeah.
and people living alone, and education around that, and LGBTQ and elder care
Mm.
initiatives. Talk to me about the LGBTQ. I happen to be lesbian. I mean, this is kind of a lonely community as well. So how?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I've had friends in the community forever.
Sure.
And as a matter of fact, Who Will Take Care of Me When I'm Old? The book actually was inspired by a gay friend of mine who came up to me and told me that he was looking for someone that his girlfriend could talk to about getting a job. And then a week later, he called me, said, "Look, it's not my girlfriend, it's my boyfriend." And I said, "Steve, I've known you for a long, long time, and now you can't even you couldn't even be forthcoming. That's really made me sad." And I said, "If you can't talk to me, the most trusted person, one of the most trusting people in your life, how are you ever going to get anywhere?" And so I said, "I got to help the community because it just pains me to know that there's so much that is available now
Right.
and that they may not know about it." And so I work very closely with a community called Stonewall Village NYC in New York City.
Yeah.
And that's one resource that everybody should know about. But also there's a lot of information in the Complete Elder Care Planner and the other book about finding inclusive communities for living and healthcare.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for your work with him. And, I mean, uh, it's a more accepting society until it isn't. And the
That's
pain that
right.
we all felt when we trust somebody and then they kill us, is still very, very, very visceral. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my
You're
heart.
welcome.
23, you published the revised and updated fourth edition of the Complete Elder Care Planner with Random House. I mean, just small little publisher. Yeah. How in the world? I mean, that's a real feather in your cap.
Random House and I have been together since for 30 years. In fact, I have the same literary agent that I had from the beginning when he took my little workbook and we got it published back in the 80s. Actually, the first edition was in the 80s.
Wow.
So Random House saw the writing on the wall like I did a long time ago, and they have been true advocates of caregiving and elder care, and now people who live alone. They are a forward thinking company. My editors couldn't be smarter. They're all young. They know many of them are in the gay community and they know the troubles. And so when they were looking at editing all of my books, they were thinking from this filter of a 30 something mind who really wanted to make sure that the future was secure for them.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
you know the age of the people who are attending my talks keeps getting younger and younger and younger, and now I'm seeing 30-year-olds in my talks because that question about who will take care of me. Plus,
Yeah,
these are people who are going to school, they are working, they're taking care of parents, children, and grandparents.
absolutely.
Their lives are so full.
There they are, and you just wonder how that juggling act actually sustains itself, and and if we don't take proper care, then we do break down. I wanted to throw out
Well,
that the ACLU helps with the LGBT issues. The LAMBDA
yeah,
organization,
yeah.
LAMBDA Legal, is a very, very fine institution for that. So
Hmm.
now you've been honored by the Joint Civic Community Committee, of Italian Americans, JCCIA, for your contributions as an elder care expert, author, and public speaker within the community of Chicago's Italian Americans. That must have been a proud moment.
It was really wonderful, and carrying on the legacy of my mother and my grandparents is very important to me. I'm currently taking Italian classes so I can get better at communicating, and I am an Italian citizen. So that took 3 years of red tape working with the Italian government to get my citizenship, but I was determined that we would carry on the legacy of my mother.
So wonderful. So has your mother passed now?
Yeah, she did. But the cool thing is we my sisters and I got together and did all the work. Then we were able to grandfather in my daughter and all those kids, her children as well, and my sister's children. And my mother was alive when we did all get our citizenship. And so that was the goal, is to see she saw her legacy carry on.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
oh,
great. We There was such a celebration. It was
oh.
wonderful.
I mean, Italian celebrating. I can just right now.
We're still celebrating.
Exactly. Still eating the leftovers, maybe. There's always never, well, there's never a shortage of food in Italian events. I'm just really,
No,
that's my
no, that's all that. It's key right there.
Right now. Then you get the Finishing Strong Award. I don't know as you're finished, sweetheart, but you get the Finishing Strong Award in 2025 using your complete elder care planner as a resource in the community, further solidifying Joy's influence on elder care. I don't know why I can't speak today. Elder care planning processes and practices. That must have been an amazing moment to you to get the phone call. How did they call you? They write you? How do you know you got this?
It's there's written communication, but anytime anybody acknowledges, the first thing I think about is the ripple effect of having it continue out in the universe. All I care about, Deborah, is that all of this pushes out information all over the world, and that's what it's done. So I get contacted from people in Africa, India, um, every country you can imagine. We've been in touch. That the issues of aging and people living alone, it's all universal,
It
and the
is.
world is changing. So we're all in this together. All I care about is if somebody wants to say something nice about something I've done, I just keep saying let's get it out there. Let's let people know it's you're not doing this by yourself.
Yeah. That's such a great boomerang. I love the flow idea, right? It's the receiving and the giving back and the giving back and then the receiving here because you write the books and the both
Yeah,
books and workbooks and so forth and then you get the feedback and the reverberation. Yeah, nothing is a singular act. And I am
we yeah yeah,
really
and we
impressed
don't
with that. Yeah.
and we don't do this alone.
No.
Every single person from the first time somebody said, I think you know how to write when I was 12, everybody has pushed us out into the world to do our job.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to stay awake to those clues that, okay, we're in the right place. And so imagine when, just like you've been in the business for a very long time. Somebody's talking about you right now, across the country,
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to bank on our vibrations just keep on going.
Keep the frequency high, babe. Keep the
Yeah,
frequency high. Yes, exactly.
yeah.
So, as you guys might imagine, Joy has been quoted in the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Time Magazine, USA Today. She's been featured on The Today Show, Good Morning America, CBS Early Show, ABC News, NPR, and more. What was your favorite one?
My favorite one was when I was invited. This is it.
Rock on.
I was invited by my pastor to give he said I could only talk for 3 minutes on why I came back to the church. And it had to do with elder care. It had to do with immigrants, my mom coming from Italy. It had to do with a need for a spiritual life. And I nailed it, Deborah. And everyone in the place just could feel that they were also part of a bigger picture, a community, and that no one is alone. And that was my favorite speaking gig, and it was 3 minutes long. And I could tell that the people in the church felt that they were part of a family. That was I said to myself, I could die now. I'm done. I did it.
Those moments.
So that was on an Easter Sunday.
Oh
And
my heart, that's even more impactful. Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that was it. And I told a very brief story of my mother and my grandmother getting off and she not knowing any words of English and going to the church where I currently go, which the church is 150 years old, and how she was taken in by the family of nuns and priests, and that when I was confused and I didn't know whether I wanted to go back to the church or not, and I did, I was also taken in by the peoples and they surrounded me. And that's why I say when there are resources, some of the resources that are available to us are in our own backyard. Most of them are in our own backyard. And that these are people who will be there for you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That's all that really is. It's not about technology. There's no app that's going to make you give you help. No app whatsoever. It is people. People need people. That's it.
Mic drop. Boom.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta think everybody brought out their hankies. I'm just
mm,
wow, imagine. And when you're asked to talk for 3 minutes, we're all talkers, right? And that just seems like, oh gosh.
mhm.
Boy, you tell that story, and it's so from the heart. It's from experience. It's so intrinsic to the fabric of Joy, right? And your work. And to bring that home in a community, I got to think that had to be the highlight of many of their lives to hear. Well, first of all, them being addressed, them being cared for, and to know they've got a
Yeah.
friend in you, they've got a friend in Joy for sure, and that you
Mhm.
have also been so blessed by this work. It's a lot of outward giving for sure, and yet I got to think you have a whole bunch of 3 a.m. friends.
I like to think so.
Absolutely. So tell me about you mentioned Sister Dorothy early on. So you were at this Catholic school, and so how did she, respond to you? Did she continue and kind of keep a tab on you and say, "Oh my gosh, Joy, amazing work," or did you lose touch?
No, we really didn't. She didn't keep it up because the next homeroom of freshmen were probably front and center for her,
Yeah.
and it was all my own doing and my own energy and my way of doing things. Um, my way was different than hers. The initial visit when we walked in and we had distributed food, but when I went back the second year and now I'm 15 years old, I'm more interactive and I'm being real creative. I'd say, I'll bring books and I brought a dog. I brought my dog, things like that. I there wasn't a day that I didn't think that I didn't know what I was doing. It all came instinctively, organically. There was nothing, and I'm the same today as I was when I was 15. When I'm with people, I'm just really with them.
Like, you guys, this is the congruency, of the highest level. This is the oneness, the coming home to ourselves, the reunion
Hmm.
of various seasons of our life, and yet it's all very congruent and it's very, very central, to who
I,
you are.
yeah. I'm so glad you said that because I fear that women don't tend to be true to themselves and think they deserve to be happy, and especially as they age and they just fall into this trap of maybe feeling invisible or feeling like they haven't done enough, and just by them breathing and being alive is enough, and continuing to nurture who they really are is really what we're supposed to be doing here, because the happier we are, the more we can love others.
Right now. I'm remembering, I was caregiving from a distance, unfortunately, but when I was there, and two parents, one kind of right after the other. And I would go in, and of course, I was raised in that town and they never moved. And so everybody knew my parents and me. And I would paint some older women's toenails and fingernails.
Oh, that's so
And
beautiful.
I knew like certain people, and I say,
Mm,
you know, do you have the daily bread here? Well, yeah. They dig in the drawer. Nobody's read it to them, and they can't see. And I'm reading the daily.
mm,
And I'm holding it up to the. What do you think? Can you read that next part? And they start to read, and my heart just breaks. It's like, all you want to do is just say, "I'm with you. Let's partner in this.
mhm,
You can read it, great. If you can't read it, I'll read it for and with you."
mhm.
And yet, you would have thought I gave them $1 million. It's that attention and that noticing and Joy, the seeing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I wrote in the book, the elders want to be validated. When when it's all said and done,
So,
we all want to be validated that we deserved to be here on this earth.
yeah.
And just by being with someone, reading or just watching TV with them is a validation of their lives. I always urge people who are younger to make sure they have older friends, because they will benefit like crazy. When I was young, I used to go to, I've always had old friends, and I mean
You
old.
know, me
And
too.
yeah, and I would say when I was dating, you know, this guy, he's doing this. What should I do? And they would say, honey, he doesn't love you. I mean, he would just like bottom line in, and
Oh,
I'll be, oh my God, and then I'd say, you're right. And they would help me just get out of my own way all the time.
boy,
So if you're young and you don't have an old friend, you should go get some, because they'll help you. They'll cut to the chase and save you a lot of time and money.
they will, and they will save our corporations money if the corporations will keep them or rehire them. The wealth of knowledge and wisdom in between their ears cannot be replicated with AI and a 22-year-old. It cannot. It was
Right.
groups of zeros. And so this whole notion of pushing women to the sidelines, of course, the We Can Do It Women movement, which I founded, is bring women out to
Mm-hmm.
the sidelines. You are not done, sweetheart. No, no, no. You are just beginning. I mean, this is kind of like who my friend says, take note of all the mistakes that the people around you and your friends are making, because you don't have time to make them all yourself. But when we talk about this intergenerational dialogue, I remember too, I was doing a little project and it was only high school, I think. I couldn't have been out of 12th grade. And I said to myself, you know what? We need to bring kids, if not toddlers, but really young kids, grade school kids,
Yeah.
to in the old day we were talking about old folks homes, right? But it's senior adult communities, because these kids are like mawing at the wrinkles. They think it's kind of fun, and the women put their arms up and they're waffles, and the kids are all over
Great.
that. And of course, the old people are fondling the kids, and it ends up being this wonderful thing. You take that middle generation right out, give them some coffee in the other room, and now
Right.
we have some real bonding taking place. But I like
Yeah.
what you're saying too, because older people, they'll just be completely frank with you. Well, wait a minute, hold on. Sometimes as women, we've been disregarded with regard to speaking our truth. And so it's really welcoming to have an older woman whom we respect, or maybe we've just met and we just have
Right.
she's gonna have a sonar, and she's gonna see right through us and tell us the truth. And boy,
That's right.
there's no more time for fooling around. She's not.
No, we have time, we have a shelf life, and we cannot waste time. I mean,
I
there's so much wasted time, people worrying about the future, worrying instead of making a plan and doing something and doing what you have to do. It's like, I can't even imagine, Deborah, having a sleepless night over something I should be doing, but I don't do it. I cannot imagine living that life.
I'm with you. Totally with you. And I have said, it was given to me, literally. I was asking a question on live CNN call in. I was across from Stuart Varney, and he says, Deborah, what's your best asset? Well, it costs the Chiron Debra Morrison certified financial planner. And I thought to myself, what a stupid question. I mean, whatever. I'm like,
Right.
how will I answer this? The stock, a piece of real estate, right? And I literally said, God, give me something. I'm on live CNN. And out
That's
from my lips come, Stuart, I have two assets in life. My two greatest assets in life are time and health, and I don't want to waste either one of them. He's like, whoa! He almost fell off his producer chair. We got a certified financial planner here talking about time and health. He had to take a station break. And so
that's
it
awesome.
was amazing. I get back in the limo to come home, and I said, thank you, God. And that
Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
1999. And ever since, I talk about time and health are our biggest assets, because absent either one of them, the greenbacks,
Right.
what
Right.
what
Right.
is it a tool for now? Bragging rights? I don't know. None.
Right. You bring up a good point. I just want to say that one of the things I also talk about is that it's not a given that we will need to be cared for in old age. Okay. Like, we like to plan for it, like, just in case, but many people die in their sleep, my mom included. And
Yeah.
so we don't, it's great to make sure we can financially pay for professional care. At the same time, I put equal amounts of energy into making sure that I am healthy right now. And then I don't want to be cared for. Therefore, I eat right, I exercise, I hang out with good people, and I sleep at night, because I have solid plans in place and willing to look at them all the time to make sure that I don't miss anything. And if I do, I'm resourceful and I'll figure it out. So I just want to say, put just as much energy into staying healthy. My mom was healthy till the minute she didn't breathe anymore. That's the way I want to go.
I do too, and this emphasis can't be strong enough on us
Hmm.
putting little deposits into our health bank so
Yeah.
that we have as much life and vibrancy and verve in our years as is possible. And so I couldn't agree more. If you're doing something that's derogatory to your health, let's just put the mirror in front of you and say, what am I doing anything that's derogatory? Am I wasting time
Hmm.
on silly things? And have a heart to heart with ourselves, because it's incumbent upon us to think ahead. Oh, I've got to share with you, when I was reading all of your stuff, and it's so impressive, whenever I took a client on, I would sit them, single person, two people of whatever gender, I don't care. I take a person on and I sat there and they're talking to me about some things that are, probably already on the form. And I'm aging them 20 years. I'm just going,
Hmm.
now you have software that does it, right? I'm just aging them 20 years because I'm imagining us being across from each other in 20 years, and we always were. And I'm imagining this is the person they're growing into, and I'm going to be with them every step of the way. And so let's imagine
Interesting.
ourselves. And now there's age progression software. And I have done this on a webinar. I put my own thing there, and it takes me from here to a little bit older. And you know what that sometimes does, Joy? It sometimes
Good.
talks us into, oh my gosh, I better eat better. I better start walking.
Yeah.
I better start, or put more money away for my future. And that whole aspect of time travel, right? You've
Yeah.
really hit the nail on the head in so
Yeah.
many aspects. I applaud you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So
I respect all the things that you're doing to help people get their financial house in order because it is so important.
exactly, exactly. I know there's going to be people that are saying, how can we reach Joy? We got to talk with this woman. I'm going to call you the next time I'm in Chicago, and you call me when you're in
Oh,
New
good.
York. Let's do this. So how can people reach you?
Oh, they should just Google my name in LinkedIn, and then I have my LinkedIn page is filled with information and also information about where I might be next and so on.
Amazing. I say, if you have a chance to hear Joy live, in addition to today's interview, please avail
I
yourself
do.
of
I will be in the Baltimore, Maryland area, October 21. Maybe, yeah, it's at October 23, actually.
that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Ec-
that's
Well,
where I'm going to be next.
if you guys are in and around that area, I mean, don't walk, run. Uh, so
Oh,
Joy,
that's great. Thank you so much.
it's been such a pleasure to chat. I thank you for your time, your expertise, your service, your heart, your
Hmm.
your congruity, your authenticity. It is so rich, and for that we thank you. And thank you, viewers, for joining us on the We Can Do It show. We Can Do It Women show. Remember, I see you. I
Hmm.
value you. And your greatest chapter is just beginning. If today's episode sparked something in you, let's be at what it is that's still on our bucket list. Let's go ahead and forge ahead and use our talents and our energies towards giving other people and putting a smile on someone else's face. How about that? Because it's going to put a smile on your face as well. So I invite you to do the next step, take the next step in your trajectory to become a We Can Do It woman in a bigger
Hmm.
capacity than you are right now. And I invite you to continue to pay attention to your money. It will surely pay you back. Until next time, be well.